Oh, I'm sorry, but it's time to move away.
Hello, everybody. As you can tell by my little intro, this is gonna be a Badfinger video, and it's a review of their 1973 release. Ass was released on November 26, 1973 in the U.S. and March 8, 1974 in the U.K. This would be their last Apple release before going to Warner Brothers. By this time, I believe they had already signed their contract with Warner Brothers, and they were just finishing out their Apple contract with this album. Two tracks on this album were produced by Todd Rundgren, who previously produced their album Straight Up, when George Harrison had organized the concert for Bangladesh. So Todd Rundgren had took over and finished the Straight Up production. He produced two songs on this album. One called The Winner, and the other one, I Can Love You. Both of them are Joey Mullen songs. After Todd Rundgren had left the project, they brought Chris Thomas in to finish producing the album. The album only yielded 145, and I have it here. And it's Apple in My Eye by Pete Ham and Blind Owl by Tom Evans on the B-side. The single was released in December of 1973 in the U.S. I don't know about the UK release date because it wasn't. My sources didn't list it. So, unfortunately for this album, it only peaked at 122 on the U.S. Billboard 200 at that time. It didn't do very well on the charts, obviously. Apple probably didn't really promote it, so it was kind of, there. So it's probably why it charted so low. The album cover, it was depicting the band's feelings towards the Apple label. You notice the donkey being led by a hand holding a carrot. That was their feelings, that they felt like they were being misled by the Apple label. So they went to Warner Brothers, courtesy of their manager, which later on screwed them. But that's a different story for a different time. But they signed to Warner Brothers in 1973. The cover was done by, I got a guy name written down here, who was a Grammy, let me start back over. A Grammy Award winner, fella named Peter Koriston, who later designed Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti album cover, and also two Rolling Stone albums, Some Girls and Tattoo You. I'll show you the album here. I'm not really going to each song because I'm going to be honest with you, the album is not real memorable, but as you can see on the writing credits, they give writing credits to Badfinger, which hasn't been done before this one. And the reason for that is Joey Mullen didn't sign publishing agreement with Apple Music at this time when they did this album. The other three band members had done that when they were the Ivies, when they signed their contract with Apple in 1969. But Joey didn't do it until after the production of this album was completed. So, that being said, they just went and credited each track to the band itself as Badfinger because it was already too late to put their each songwriter next to each song title. Joey Molland had written half of this album. Pete Ham only had 2 tracks on here. Tom Evans had 2 tracks, and Mike Gibbons, their drummer, had 1. I don't know why Pete Ham only had 2 tracks. I read somewhere that Pete Ham and Joey Molland wasn't really seeing eye to eye on a lot of things musically. So I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Pete Ham said, okay, I'll let you write half the album and I'll just take a back seat to you. I think it had to do with creative differences or something to that effect. So that may be the reason why Pete Ham only had 2 tracks on here. Let's see. Okay, I can talk about songs. I don't know how to. The album really doesn't have any memorable songs on it. Catchy ones. Probably the standout track to me is Constitution by Joey Molland opening up on side 2. The album, if you hadn't heard it, I don't know how to try to describe. The songs are real laid back. There's no real standout tracks, if I could say it like that. It's like they were just trying to get through the album so they can move on with their new recording contract with Warner Brothers. They're basically just fulfilling their Apple contract with this. It's not a bad album. They did try. They weren't trying. But it was just a real laid back album, maybe because of the mood from moving from one label to another. Case in point, the opening track, Apple in My Eye by Pete Ham. As you heard in my little musical intro there, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but it's time to move away. But in my heart, I really want to stay. Believe the love we have is so sincere. You know the gift you have will always be. You're the apple of my eye, and you're the apple of my heart. But now it's time to part." That was his sentiment for leaving the label. It was basically just it was a good it's a good record. It's not like Straight Up or No Dice, where more rocking tunes on it. They were just, like I said, they were just trying to get through record this album to get through their contract with Apple, so they can move on. It's kind of like what George Harrison did with Extra Texture. He was at the end of his EMI contract, and he just recorded an album to fulfill that contract so he can go to Dark Horse. So, it's probably about the same way. There are good songs on here, but it's just a real low-key album. If I could put it like that. I'll show you the record. And you can see here the writing credits are all credited to Badfinger rather than each member that wrote each song. Yeah, Constitution is pretty much the rocker on here. Joey Molland's tune. Getaway It's another Joey Mullen tune that you know, it's a little bit edgier. The rest of them are pretty much, you know, low key. Blind Owl, you know, it's got a little bit of a kick to it. But the rest of them are pretty much, you know, laid back type songs, low key songs. The last track on the album, Timeless, which was the other Pete Ham contribution, it starts out slow, but then when it gets to the outro, the guitar parts on the instrumental outro, the guitar parts are, you know, a little heavier as it progresses. So I would say that'd be a standout track too, as the song evolved. You know, the guitar work in it as it goes in, and the instrumental outro, it gets a little bit heavy on the end of that song. So overall, it's a decent album. I like it. I got no quarrels with it. Anything Badfinger is good. But when you get into the post Pete Ham era, post 1975, after Pete Ham had took his life, when Joey and Tommy were recording their last two albums of Badfinger, it's just not. It was just wasn't the same. Just wasn't. And so yeah, it's a decent listen. I enjoy it. Really all I got to say about it. It's just a good album. Two CDs I have of this album. First one, this is from 1996. Sorry for that glare. There we go. This has one bonus track, an unreleased track called Do You Mind? It's a Joey Mullen song, which I like it. It's nice. And here's the label. If you can see, I'm gonna try to put it at an angle, but it's like the apple is like a metallic. How it was painted on there. In person, you can really see it. Maybe the camera may not be picking it up. It's kind of shiny. And there's the inlay card. It's basically in like a little essay about the album. I have not read it. And then the other one, this is a 2010 remaster of Ass. And this has some more extra bonus tracks. It has Do You Mind, that was on that one. And it has a different mix of Apple in My Eye, a different mix of Blind Owl, and a different mix of Timeless, which Timeless is about 2 minutes shorter on the bonus track. And then there's another unreleased track on here called Regular. And it's a little gatefold. And the CD. And this has a booklet that comes with it. And this particular booklet has a few extra pictures in it. The band. With a little essay. And this really sounds great. So that's it. That's basically, my little review of Ass. I appreciate everybody for watching. I really do. Thank you to my new subscribers. Hey, I appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel. I really do. It means a lot. And I thank you for all my all my current subscribers. Thank you for watching, stopping by, and if you're new here and you come across my channel, you know what to do. If you like what you see, the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll know when I drop a new video. You'll be first to know. So that's all I got with this video. I really appreciate it. Y'all take care. See you on the next one. And keep spinning that vinyl.